Imagine this. For the next 10 years, every dollar you spend goes to one of two places: liabilities or assets. No new car, no upgraded apartment just because you got a raise. No treat-yourself purchase that quietly drains your account every single month. Just assets. Stocks, funds, ownership, cash flow. What would your life actually look like after a decade of that? Most people will never find out, not because they can't, but because no one ever shows them what it really looks like, year by year, dollar by dollar. So today, we're running that experiment. Real numbers, real timeline, one person's decade. His name is Michael.
Michael is 25, living in the United States, earning $70,000 a year. Solid, but not extraordinary. The kind of income millions of Americans earn right now. Here's what makes Michael different. At 25, he makes a decision most of his friends won't. He stops buying things that lose value the moment he owns them. No financed SUV, no lifestyle upgrade every time his paycheck grows, no credit card cycle disguised as rewards. Instead, every spare dollar goes toward one mission: ownership. Index funds tracking the broader market, dividend ETFs that pay him just for holding them, a retirement account growing quietly in the background, a small slice of real estate exposure through REITs, real estate without the mortgage, the tenants, or the 2 a.m. phone calls. Michael isn't trying to get rich overnight. He's attempting something far more dangerous to the status quo. He's trying to be patient. And that patience is about to be tested immediately, because here's why most people never make it past year one.
The uncomfortable truth about why most Americans never build real wealth isn't income, and it isn't the economy. It's lifestyle inflation. You get a raise, your car payment gets bigger. You get a bonus, your apartment gets nicer. Your income climbs, but your savings rate stays exactly the same. Or worse, it shrinks. Add in the average car payment now stretching past $700 a month. Add in credit card balances quietly compounding at 20-something% interest. Add in the pressure to look successful before you've actually become successful. None of these decisions feel dangerous in the moment. A $600 phone upgrade doesn't feel like a threat to your future. A nicer lease doesn't feel like it's costing you anything beyond the monthly payment. But here's what nobody tells you. Every dollar spent on something that depreciates isn't just gone. It's gone from compounding. That's the real cost. Not the purchase itself, but the decade of growth that purchase could have created instead. Which brings us back to Michael and the experiment that's about to prove exactly how expensive that lost decade really is.
10 years. Real contributions. Real market history. Using the long-term U.S. stock market average of roughly 8 to 9% annually. Year 1, Michael invests $12,000, about $1,000 a month. With growth, he closes the year near $12,500. Unremarkable, almost invisible. This is the year most people quit because nothing seems to be happening. Year 2, another $12,000 added. Combined with growth, he crosses $26,000. Small, but the foundation is forming. Year 3, $41,000. The market moves in waves, not straight lines. Some months feel like nothing's working. The contributions don't stop. Year 4, around $58,000. Michael gets a raise. Old Michael would have upgraded his car. New Michael increases his investing instead, pushing past $1,300 a month.
Year 5, $85,000. Halfway through the decade, and for the first time, market growth is starting to rival his own contributions. Year 6, $112,000. The quiet middle stretch. No headlines, no big wins. Just deposits and patience, compounding in the background like a fire nobody's noticed yet. Year 7, $148,000. Something shifts here. The market's gains alone, separate from anything Michael deposits, are now larger than his entire first year of saving. Year 8, $190,000. His friends are financing $60,000 trucks. Michael's portfolio just generated more in growth this year than most Americans have in total savings. Year 9, $245,000. The acceleration is now undeniable. This is the year compounding stops whispering and starts shouting. Year 10, $312,000. 10 years. roughly $150,000 in total contributions. The rest, over $160,000, created by nothing Michael actively did, just time, patience, and ownership, working while he slept. But the numbers only tell half the story. The harder part was never the math. It was everything happening in Michael's head along the way.
Buying assets is boring. Buying liabilities is exciting. A new car gives you an immediate feeling. An index fund gives you a number that barely moves for years. Your brain is wired for instant reward, not decade-long payoffs, which is exactly why this is delayed gratification in its purest, most uncomfortable form. You're choosing a future you can't see yet over a present you can feel right now. For most of the decade, it looks like nothing is happening. Years 1 through 5 in Michael's experiment look almost identical to doing nothing at all. That's the trap. That's where most people give up, right before the curve bends upward. Wealth isn't built in dramatic moments. It's built in invisible ones. The unglamorous decision to invest $1,000 instead of spending it, repeated quietly for years nobody's watching. And once you see how that curve actually bends, you understand why the back half of this decade looks nothing like the front half.
In year 1, the market generated Michael about $500 in growth. In year 10, it generated him over $25,000 in a single year without him lifting a finger. That's not linear. That's exponential. And it reveals something most people never see, because most people never make it past year 3 or 4. The first half of the decade is where you pay your dues. The second half is where the math finally pays you back. Michael didn't get rich because of one brilliant decision. He got rich because of 100 boring ones, repeated until the curve bent in his favor. And the wildest part? This is just year 10. Run that same portfolio forward another decade, untouched, and the next $300,000 might take less than 5 years to arrive. Every dollar you earn is making a choice on your behalf. It's either buying you freedom, or it's buying you a few hours of comfort that fade by the weekend. Michael didn't sacrifice his 20s, he redirected them. The car he didn't buy became a portfolio. The upgrades he skipped became ownership stakes in companies that don't stop working even when he does. 10 years from today is coming whether you invest or not. The only question is what you'll have to show for it. If this kind of thinking resonates with you, consider subscribing to Daniel Money Clarity. We break down real financial scenarios like this one. No hype, no shortcuts, just the math behind building real wealth. The next decade is already in motion. What you do with it now is still up to you.